Thank you for everybody for joining us this evening. Really appreciate it, especially on a Monday night. We're very much looking forward to this masterclass. We actually ran a Wunderhaus Masterclass towards the end of last year, and it was really popular, and there's actually now quite a few updates. So really excited to bring Mike on board. For those of you that don't know, my name's Jennifer, and myself and my husband Ben, we've set up Project Self-Build, which is a community created to educate, inspire and help first-time self-builders to build their dream home. And we do that by bringing in experts to come and talk about specific topics. And we've also got some online training coming up. So if you've got any topic that you want to know more about, or you've got any questions, please just reach out to us either in the Facebook group, by messenger, email, whatever's easiest. And we'll try and bring in the relevant experts to help you. But without any further ado, I will hand over to Mike, who is going to teach us all about this incredible system that is Wunderhaus.
I am indeed. Thank you very much, Jen. Good evening, everyone. So I'm going to run through the webinar. It'll probably take about half an hour, maybe a little bit quicker. So let's get started. So firstly, who am I? So my name is Mike Collins. I'm the executive sales agent for Wunderhaus. I'm also director of a property development company and a Keller Williams estate agent. You can find me on most social media channels. So to start off with, we'll talk about Nico. Nico Wrench is the founder and managing director of Wunderhaus. He's schooled in architecture in Geneva, Switzerland, and is an internationally renowned architectural designer with a wealth of experience in high-end commercial and residential construction in the UK and abroad. His work is acclaimed internationally and has been featured in numerous publications. After more than 20 years of designing outstanding properties for billionaires throughout the world, Nico felt strongly that there was a distinct lack of high-quality architectural design at an affordable level in the current UK housing market. Also, despite the building industry's lip service to environmentally friendly, energy-efficient houses, there were virtually no products matching these attributes on the market. With the onerous challenge of creating a product that truly delivers on these promises, Nico took the bold decision at the beginning of 2018 to move away from his previous business model and instead to concentrate exclusively on researching, designing, and developing an architecturally outstanding housing product with the right energy performance and environmental credentials. He came up with the Wunderhaus. Despite its cutting-edge contemporary appearance, the Wunderhaus's form, size, and proportions are rooted in ancient architectural archetypes and take their reference from the Neolithic longhouse, the earliest dwellings built in Europe around 6000 BC. It can therefore be called the most traditional new build in today's market. Wunderhaus is a product that benefits from the highest levels of quality, efficiency, and sustainability found in different areas of manufacture. Just as in a high-end car, for example, the right combination of the best elements makes it much more than the sum of its parts. This product-based approach is rooted in the original design process and the controlled cutting-edge technology of the factory so that consumers know precisely what they are getting, which is efficient design, high quality, speedy assembly, and predictable cost. The Wunderhaus team has spent a huge amount of focus in designing a product which is easier to construct in the world of house development. From the heating system to the kitchen, every detail has been scrutinized until the best product found for ease of fitting without scrimping on quality. For example, the flooring is a 6mm thick click and lay system, which has 12 layers, including the underlay, as you can see from this photo. The flooring also comes with a lifetime wear and tear warranty. The paint is also photocatalytic interior lime paint, which whilst curing, cleanses the air of CO2 and toxins, naturally inhibiting bacteria and mold, and will purify the air whilst it is on the wall. It's also breathable, durable, and avoids condensation. Wunderhaus's architecture is innovative, not because of cleaving to a much-used classic shape, but in the way it reinterprets and optimizes these proportions to suit the present day. The result is an open-plan, double-height living, dining, kitchen, and family room. A 7.5-meter gable-style roof meets a triple-glazed elevation and creates a bright, open pitch that emphasizes the volume of the room. Bearing in mind that this is the WA2 model. The WA6 is twice the size and allows for separate living space. It is a mirror image of what you see here, So it could be the main family living space, leaving this as the family dining space. A home is the most important space in our lives and contributes greatly to our well-being. Wunderhaus is a beautiful, comfortable, and worry-free environment that protects its inhabitants and caters to their needs. It benefits from a controlled climate with a continuous supply of pollen-free air and dust filtration. Here you can see the two living areas. Firstly, the downstairs kitchen, diner, and lounge with a staircase. The picture on the bottom right is of the new staircase, which we've just introduced into a WAO configuration. This staircase will be used throughout all configurations from now on. The upstairs snug mezzanine has been a very popular feature of the house, as most of our tour guests have imagined this area as a little escape to relax and unwind and to watch the world go by out of the 7.5-meter gable glazed end. The kitchen is the heart of the home. It has recently been upgraded literally in the last couple of weeks to the renowned German manufacturers Hacker Kitchens. There are 3 different specification levels available: good, better, and best. Our bill of quantities will list the most economical spec, and an accompanying document will show the other available options. The main difference in spec is the branding of the appliances: Siemens for the good, Bosch for the better, and Miele for the best. How many housing suppliers do you know that will fit a new home with this level caliber of appliances? As you can see from the pictures, there are 2 taps. One is, of course, of fresh water, and one is of instant boiling water. Hacker will also be supplying the utility cupboard in the Wunderhaus, which will consist of washing machine, tumble dryer, and storage solutions. Hacker wasn't just chosen for their luxurious kitchens. They also have a keen ethos for sustainability and take their share of responsibility for the conservation of nature very seriously, and it is committed to permanent improvement of the environmental performance. The prototype WA2 configuration property has a 4-bedroom layout, 2 upstairs, 2 downstairs. These bedrooms can be opened into one single room with the removal of the party wall if preferable. The 2 bathrooms are located just outside the bedrooms with dual aspect entrance. Both bathrooms have sizable walk-in showers featuring rainfall shower heads, which can be replaced with a bathtub if the client so wishes. The vanity units in the Wunderhaus are also exclusive to the concept. The team designed a whole new revolutionary modular vanity system which fits perfectly with the Wunderhaus ethos: simplicity to install and efficiency in use. The current EPC on the prototype is rated at 101, which has the potential to become 120 with some new additional tech being incorporated into the new Wunderhauses, although depending on the orientation of the house. As far as passive house standards goes, a property can apply for the recognition at a far inferior performance. Wunderhaus would pass the accreditation with flying colours, but we leave that up to our clients to decide whether or not they feel they would like to be accredited with the passive house certificates. The property is carbon negative. You often hear the new government aims to be carbon neutral, but Wunderhaus takes it even further once again. The prototype house has been running for over 2 years now and has been proven to be energy positive, meaning it actually makes more money through the feed-in tariff, based on a family of 4 using the average amount of electricity and an average UK weather pattern. The photovoltaic panels are actually being designed to double the size for Wunderhaus. Therefore, it will be able to produce even more electricity to sell back to the grid. I believe the latest test on the new PV foils generated up to 30 kilowatts a day in the summer. You may also see from this picture there is a Tesla battery system. This has now been supplemented with a new 10 kilowatt storage system, which is cheaper to buy, mainly because it doesn't have the Tesla logo on it. It can produce 5.8 kilowatts of output energy. This system could potentially power the house for 3 days if there were to be a long power cut, as long as you do not constantly run your tumble dryer. There is also a new system being put into place called direct to grid, where you'll be able to utilize your electric car battery, which holds about 80 kilowatts. Owners will be able to transfer the energy generated by Wunderhaus, download it into the car battery and sell it back to the grid. Nissan do currently have the technology in place to do this, and I'm sure we will see more and more manufacturers bring this scheme in over the next few years. The energy storage systems tech is still in its infancy. At Wunderhaus, we are constantly researching new products and innovative tech companies who are entering this market with the ethos that we will be at the forefront of commissioning superior tech into our products. The heating is very unique system to Wunderhaus. Energy generated by the solar cells on the roof gets stored in the battery. Energy stored by the battery or from the grid, if it needs some, powers the air source heat pump. The air source heat pump then supplies either warm or cool air into the MVHR system, which works 24 hours a day, pumping in filtered pollen and allergy-free fresh air into the home, mixing with the warm or cool air from the MVHR. There is also an underfloor infrared secondary heating system in place should the temperature drop drastically due to a door being left open in the depths of winter. This is solely in place as a backup, as the MVHR system would take a little while to bring the property back up to the desired temperature if that did happen. In Wunderhaus, all vital infrastructure can be monitored and controlled via mobile phone or tablets at all times and from any location. In this slide and the next, you can see the home screen of the apps controlling your home, which include smoke and CO2 detector, lighting control, battery performance, ventilation, heating, and the car charger. Along with various smarter tech options, Wunderhaus comes with a variety of aesthetic customizations. For example, the exterior cladding comes with 4 different ventilated rain screen cladding options with 21 standard colors, including teak, eep, dark gray, and light gray. Other customization options can be made in the flooring, where you have over 100 different styles and colors. The wardrobes have different door options. The vanity unit surface, the shower panels have different designs and colors, kitchen doors, bathroom wall panels, and of course the internal paint colors. The Wunderhaus comes in a variety of configurations, including an 87 square meter single story, which is the WBO, up to the WA6, which is a 300 square meters of eco living space. We also have apartments, which is a WDO configuration. And here are some of the CGIs of our different configurations. So the next slide is a little video when Wunderhaus was featured on This Morning.
First then, with energy bills soaring, what if you could live in an eco-friendly house that not only saves you money, but makes you money? Well, such a house has been developed. Wunderhaus, the net energy positive home, which could earn you up to £250 a year. Georgina Burnett is at the property this morning. Morning, Georgina. Morning.
Good morning. Yes, I live very green in Sussex, and I have to tell you, I'm incredibly excited about this because I'm going to show you around this a very modern-looking eco home, which, of course, at the moment is at the forefront of everyone's minds with soaring energy bills. But you know what? This is no ordinary home because this is the first off-the-shelf eco home, energy-positive home, in fact, in the UK that can actually earn you money. So let me talk about some of the features out here. First of all, this cladding, maintenance-free, up to 95% recycled materials, so that's plastic bottles, wood fibre. It's also 100% recyclable. Now, the solar panels are usually pretty ugly, but these ones are virtually invisible. They're embedded into the roof. They're only 3 millimetres thick. We'll talk more about that later on. Of course, there is an electric charging point for the vehicle around the side. But let's come and have a look around here. Beautiful day for sunning yourself on the veranda. Now, inside is very similar to kind of any modern build I've seen before. Feels very homely. But what makes it so special is that you have incredible insulation. You've also got triple glazing. Look at the thickness of these here, pretty heavy doors. And you need that because you have got a lot of glass letting all this lovely sunlight in. But you also have an air source heat pump. Now, that gives you your hot water for consuming, but also for heating the home. But it also cools it down in the summertime as well. So a beautiful home in itself, but with all these features as well. And does feel, like I said, feels quite homely still. Now, enough from me, because I'm going to talk to you, talk to Nico, who created this. So, Nico, tell me, how much would this set me back?
Hello, Georgina. Well, we have from 2-bedroom models to 8-bedroom houses, and this one is a 4-bedroom house with 166 square meter, and it will cost £340,000.
So that you have to factor in the labour, though, don't you, and the planning and the land on top of that as well.
Well, no, the labour is included. It is only the land and the services that you might require, like water, electricity, that are on top of that. Everything else is included.
So we talk about it being energy positive. What exactly does that mean?
Well, energy positive means that net over the year, on the assumption that if you have a 4-person average UK household in an average UK weather pattern year, it will make you more money than you need. Basically, it produces more energy than you consume.
So how much money could you earn from this?
On that hypothetical theory, about £250.
So if there was a power cut, how does it fare then as well?
Well, one of the features that we have is a battery that can store 14.3 kilowatt that works in conjunction with our solar panels, our PV panels, which are only 3 millimeters thick, and they are coming from Switzerland. They produce 12 kilowatts of solar power. And that solar power can either go in the air source heat pump and warm the water, or it can store the energy in the battery so that it can be used later. Or if both of those parts are already satisfied, it can feed the energy back to the grid, and that's where you get the feedback tariff and make the money.
So how long could you go off grid for then?
It depends a little bit how you live in that time, but I would say 2 to 3 days comfortably if you don't use your tumble dryer all the time.
Let's talk about some of these eco features. So the solar panels, I'm blown away by this. It's incredible. Tell me a bit about these, because it's unlike anything I've seen before when solar panels are concerned.
Well, obviously, one of the things as an architect and designer was the and solar panels are doing a very good job, but they normally are very ugly. So to find these teeny photovoltaic films was great. We integrate them in a standing seam metal roof, and they're virtually invisible.
So I've got a roof that needs doing. Is it possible for me to retrofit this?
As long as you have either metal roof or installed a metal roof, because these panels come with a shelter adhesive, they are guaranteed for 25 years, and so you need a metal roof, yes.
So what about the other eco-friendly features here?
Well, we have an air source heat pump that works in conjunction with mechanical ventilation, and those two features create the hot water, the heating and cooling in summer, so you get comfort cooling as well.
And that basically takes the air from outside and uses it to heat the home.
Well, because you need to achieve a energy performing house, you need to have several factors. One, of course, is very good insulation, but even equally important is airtightness, and that's very difficult to achieve. And once you make a house very airtight, of course, you must make sure that 24/7 you get fresh air. And here this mechanical ventilation filters the air, so it's pollen-free and allergic-free, and the air inside the house actually is better than on the outside.
So can anyone build one of these?
Well, we have worked hard for the last 2 years in researching and developing a product in form of a house, and it has all the virtues of a product, which means you have certainty of outcome, you have certainty of cost, and you have certainty of performance.
So technically speaking, if I have the land, how long would it take to build one of these?
Once you have your foundation in, it takes 10 working days for a team of 4 people to put the superstructure together. That is the walls, the roof, the internal floors, and the windows. And then you have a watertight environment in which you can finish your house with a plumber and electrician. So all in all, I would say after the 10 days of superstructure installation, maybe another 2.5, 3 months. So in total, maybe 3 to 4 months.
Have you sold it?
Yeah, we have signed our first license to individuals and developers, and it's very exciting because we haven't actually started marketing yet. That's something we start probably in April.
And what do you say? Is this the future of new builds?
Well, I personally think it has to be. It's our responsibility, I think, for ourselves, for our children, and for future generations. We must address the problem, the climate crisis that we have, the energy crisis. It's our duty, really.
Thank you very much, Nico. Well, is it the future of new builds? I'm certainly incredibly excited by it, and it seems to answer a lot of the questions we've had in the past about eco builds.
Thank you very much. Gorgeous.
So, obviously, that was last year. A few things have changed since then. Obviously, the kitchen's changed. And I don't like the fact when she walks in the house, you go, these doors are very heavy. They're actually not. They're triple glazed. They're really easy to move. So, yeah, just I always have to say that. So, Wunderhaus has also been featured in the Times newspaper and was named Wow of the Week by an award-winning bathroom design company called Grow, who actually supply the bathroom fittings and bits and pieces for the Wunderhaus. Wunderhaus has also won the Red Dot Award for Design Concepts last year, which is a very prestigious achievement in the world of design and technology. It is the most internationally recognized label for quality and successful design. The award invites designers, design studios, companies, and universities to challenge the status quo and present their most exciting design concepts and prototypes to an international panel of design experts. It is the place where companies such as Ferrari take their new concept cars for recognition. And on the subject of cars, Audi actually made contact with Wunderhaus and asked if they could bring their latest model over to create an article and do a photo shoot in front of the house for some of their own marketing. So, how can you build your own Wunderhaus? So firstly, obviously, of course, you need to secure a plot of land. As developers and budding self-builders, I'm sure you are aware this is easier said than done, but there are companies out there who specialize on sourcing land. Once you have your land, you then need to purchase a license. Wunderhaus license fees are 8.5% of the overall build cost, which is around, at the moment, 2,200 per square meter, which includes everything except loose furniture. It also has allowances for labor and delivery costs, and even includes architectural drawings, structural drawings and calculations, building regs drawings, mechanical and engineered design, stat data, 3D models, CGIs, your bill of quantities, your procurement schedule, and obviously, of course, the excellent pre-negotiated discounts from suppliers, which Nico and the Wunderhaus team have been negotiating over the last 4.5 years. Overall, that saves around 12 months worth of design and research. So when you instruct Wunderhaus, you're entitled to pay 10% of the license fee. This gains you our expertise, drawings, design and access statement template, and various other items to submit your planning application. You would then send off a soil sample to a Wunderhaus approved structural engineer to test the viability of your plots for Wunderhaus foundations, which, by the way, could end up being a 20 centimeter thick raft foundation, as we have on that prototype you've just seen. Once planning is achieved, the remaining 90% is payable. This will then entitle you to every single detail required on how to build your Wunderhaus, from when and where to order the materials and how much you should be paying, to instructions for your builder. Each piece of material or product used in building the Wunderhaus comes with an extremely detailed documentation pack with everything you need to know about its values, sustainability, credentials, certifications, and architectural details. The team have spent over 4 years traveling to different countries and hiring translators in order to get the best price on materials for their licensees. You won't get better even if you go direct to the supplier yourself. This just shows how excited the suppliers are with the Wunderhaus concepts. If you choose to carry out the procurement and build management yourself as a licensee, you will also have an entitlement to a visit from a Wunderhaus approved consultant to give you peace of mind your build is on track and being carried out correctly. If you would like the procurement and construction to be organized for you, then my company can undertake this side of the project for you. I should also mention that license fees drop by 1% for every unit on top of the first up to 30 units, where everything above will stay the same. Once you have the land and the superstructure, it can be built and watertight within 15 days with a team of 4 builders, as Nico just said, and 1 telehandler. Overall, you'll be looking at around 3 to 4 months until you have your new home. You will then receive your official Wunderhaus plaque with your name, house model, your unique reference number, and date on it, showing future generations who built the house and when. And with regards to lending on Wunderhaus, we do have a delegated mortgage broker working with us who has spoken to many lenders that are keen to work with us. Wunderhaus 1.0 is LABC approved and NHBC approved, but we have recently made a few upgrades to the products, which details are just being finalized, for which will then go over to the lenders for their approval. So that's the presentation, and if we have any questions, then please feel free to shout them out.
Brilliant. Thanks for that, Mike. That's really interesting. There's a question come up in the chat, which I'm just going to read out to you from Tanya. She asks, are basements possible or building on a slope?
So building on a slope, yes. I think with regards to putting a basement in, that would be very much down to a structural engineer. It'd be a separate design. To be honest, I couldn't tell you yes or no on that. I would have to speak to Nico and see whether he would allow something like that to be called a Wunderhaus if it had a basement. Honestly, I don't see why not, but that's not down for me to say. Okay,
great. Thanks, Mike. And Mike, another Mike has asked, can you put windows in the side walls?
You could, but then it wouldn't be a Wunderhaus. We've been asked this before, yeah. It's been designed specifically for the way it looks, its eco credentials, and if you were to alter anything like that sort of side of it, then you wouldn't get the sign off and it wouldn't be a Wunderhaus.
Oh, Ben's got a good question. He's asked, are there any issues with getting supplies from Europe post-Brexit?
Not yet, and a lot of the upgrades have actually been with some materials and products that have come from Europe and now actually come from within the UK. But no, there's been no issues so far.
Okay. And another question from Mike is, what is the wall construction?
They're SIP panels.
Okay. Paul's question is, which MVHR system do you use?
Well, I'm not allowed to give out the makes and model of too much. The MVHR system, do you know what? I don't even know what the MVHR system actually make and model of it is. All I know is how it works. But it was something that, again, got changed recently to a newer and upgraded product. So I don't actually know the answer to that one.
Okay, no problem. Emma's question is, we're having huge problems finding land. You mentioned there are companies who will help with this process. Can you provide details?
Yeah, email me, mike@wonderhouse.co.uk. I can put you on a list. I am generating a list of clients at the moment. It don't have to be Wunderhaus clients. I'm putting out to land sourcing agents. And what I do say to people, I recommend try and find a specialist estate agent sort of that does specialize just in land. And down here we have KLP, Kitchener Land and Planning, who are pretty good. They seem to get access to most of the plots that come on. And then I do also run an hour's plot search service to which I use Nimbus Maps. It's a £99 service for an hour. We go through your area, we try and source plots, we recognize plots, and then I will give you a direct to vendor letter template which you can adapt to your own and then send out to the owners and see if they want to sell. But I'm not doing that for too much longer. It does work. I have had people who had results from it. But it's a bit more of a long-winded process.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the toughest bits, isn't it? It's finding the right plot.
It really is.
Okay, so from Steed, what is the service life of the building?
So each component has its own sort of, it comes with own, warranties, guarantees, and everything comes direct from their own factory. So everything would be how they would see it from the factory. I believe the SIP panels are something like 80 years, but it's not sort of just like, it's not like one big sort of service life for the whole build. Everything's different, isn't it? So
yeah, and I think we talked about it earlier that it would have the 10-year structural warranty on it anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, so Tanya's question, screens on windows. Is there an option to choose this or put in different windows? Just how customizable is it?
Bloody Canadians. We have screens on all our windows. It really does my head in that in England you don't, and you just get all the bugs in the house and stuff like that. And I'm very bug phobic.
We might have less bugs in England than you do in Canada.
You still have bugs.
Yeah.
These little things called flies. Anyway, so yeah, I've always wondered if that was an option to like customize. Can you choose? Can you customize your windows? Can you choose?
That's not
things in the house. Like how customizable is it? Like you were talking earlier about the floors.
Yeah.
Actually, I would like, or my dream is to have polished concrete floors. So do I have to have the floor that they've actually said that I have to have?
You would definitely not be able to have the polished concrete floor because of the carbon element, embedded carbon into concrete kind of goes against the ethos a bit. I mean, obviously the foundations are concrete, but we are actually looking into hemp concrete at the moment, which is a lot greener.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of customization options internally. There are more coming as well. So it is highly customizable. The way that Nico likes to explain it, it's like if you go to an Audi dealership, you choose your A1, and then you choose all your customization options to make it your own. It's like that. This is the first product in the form of a house, so there's so many customization options. But with regards to a screen, so you'd want a 7.5 meter screen to come down to stop the bugs getting in, or just for the doors.
Not all the windows, obviously.
Yeah. Well, do you know what? I'm sure you'd be able to do that. That would just be something you would put on afterwards.
Yeah, I was thinking that you could retrofit it.
Yeah.
Okay, got quite a few other questions. So Carl's question is there a brochure available for download?
I do have an e-brochure at the moment. It is it was the first one we made, because they keep bringing in new tech. It's like I can't keep up with the brochures at the moment, bringing in all this new tech. And we have got some brochures being designed, which will be ready in a month or so. They're very special brochures, which are going to have absolutely everything in it. And I will ask them to put that into an e-brochure as well. So I will have, but I do have the specification brochure, the original one, if you need that. So again, just email me and ask for it, and I'll email it straight back over.
Okay, brilliant. Thanks, Mike. Paul said, do you put down the foundation, or do we have to do this?
So Wunderhaus, the company Wunderhaus itself, literally supply everything you need to build a Wunderhaus. They don't actually do any sort of construction. So the way that they see it is, you would basically buy the license, and everything would be in a procurement schedule and within the bill of quantities, which obviously includes your labor, your foundations, all the materials, everything in there to do the foundations, to go ahead and build the Wunderhaus. But I am now offering this service with someone else who's got a national sort of construction company. So we would do everything for you. But if you did want to do the foundations yourself, and then we come along and just build the rest of the house, the rest of the superstructure, you'd be welcome to. Like I said, the foundations need to be sent to the structural engineer, so that we can just obviously test the ground. They only need to be usually around 20 centimeters deep. They're very, very thin foundations. But all of this is costed in the bill of quantities. I think the foundations, including the French drains around the outside, has got a cost of 20,000 in the bill of quantities. So, if you did want to do it yourself, if you knew a builder that could do it and save yourself some money, then by all means, as long as it's done to the right spec, then you can do it.
Okay, thank you. Lena's question is, what is the mortgage rate with your lender? Are there any other lenders available?
So I don't know what the mortgage rate is, but the broker who we use is he's spoken to many lenders. He said to me he's spoken to a good handful of lenders that are all keen to work with Wunderhaus. They're all happy with MMC, modern method of construction, and as far as I'm aware, there would be others available as well. But he's very specific on who he wants to bring into it. It's like he's very proper, and he knows who he thinks would suit the product best. So, I mean, you could obviously, that's just another option. You're more than welcome to go and use another broker. We were talking about this earlier, Jen, weren't we? About what was the name of that company?
Mayflower.
Mayflower, yeah.
Yeah, that's an option.
Mm.
I guess, Lena, you can always Mike could always share the details of the broker, have a chat with them. Like, they've got access to different lenders, and the rates are constantly changing, aren't they?
Yeah. Again, email me if you want to speak to the broker. He's more than happy to speak to anyone. I'll just email you back with his name and his number, and give him a call. Yeah.
Okay. And Hannah's question: are the foundations made from a sustainable compound like hemp?
Well, there you go. Yeah, we just mentioned that. So no, they're not at the moment. We are looking at it at the moment. Obviously, everything has to be cost effective within the whole build. We don't want things to go too expensive, although we have made some good savings recently on some other things. The actual 2,200 square meters, it is, fingers crossed, coming down in the next few months. So it will be, pretty good. And there'll be room to, look at other products such as that.
Okay, and this leads on to Lena's other question, which is, how does the overall build cost compare to a traditional build in the UK?
So if you didn't have all the eco tech that all in the Wunderhaus, it'd be exactly the same. But with the eco tech and everything, it bumps it up that little bit more. But like I said, it should be around 2,000 a square meter. But taking into consideration the license pack that we sell is so involved, has so much professional documentation and research and this, that, and the other in there, that we only charge 8.5%. But an architect alone is gonna, as you guys already know, it's gonna charge you quite a lot more. Once you've got the structural engineers reports, all the mechanical design and bits and pieces like that, it's all gonna add up to a lot more than 8.5%. So it's I like to think, it is a good price. So for that one you've seen on that video there, that one he said it was 340, but it's actually since then, over the last year, because that was about just over a year ago, it's actually around 385 now. But like I said, there's some really big changes coming soon, which are actually going to drop the price and make the product better.
Exciting. Looking forward to hearing all the new updates. It seems like it's constantly evolving.
It is. I literally had a phone call with Nico and at about 5 o'clock today with this. He was so excited about this new tech, which I can't say. I'm not allowed to say it just yet, but it is super, super cool. And it's going to help save something like, I'm just looking at my notes, the equivalent of 1,500 trees. So for the eco aspect of things, something along those lines. That's all I can say at the moment.
Okay, well, as soon as you're allowed to share, definitely do in the group, because there's a lot of people interested.
Yeah.
Okay, a couple of other questions. So Mike asked another question. He said, did you say there's a backup underfloor infrared heating?
Yeah, because the MVHR system, it's quite this slow to heat up. It's quite slow. It's quite a slow system. It has the cooling and the warming effect. So obviously, if it's freezing in the winter and someone goes outside, leaves the door open accidentally, and the temperature does drop, then the infrared heating is there as a backup to warm you up until the MVHR brings it back up to temperature.
Okay, brilliant. And Steed has a question. Has a whole life carbon assessment been completed that you're willing to please share?
The carbon assessment. So yeah, so we've got that in the let me just find it. Let me just find it. I can't show you exactly everything on there, but it's on. I've got the SAP report. If that helps, that's the got the carbon assessment rating on there. So I don't know if you can get a bigger carbon assessment of everything, but basically the CO2 emissions on that Wunderhaus, which you saw in this morning video, is minus 3.2.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about how they get these negative emissions. Is it because they're storing energy in the battery and selling back to the grid, so they're offsetting electricity emissions?
Yeah, pretty much, and that's something to do with, again, with the new tech that's coming in soon. That is changing for the better.
Yeah, that's cool. I'll be interested to see that report.
Well, this is on the SAP data report, which was done last year, and like I said, it's changed since then, so we need to have it updated, but it'll be better than minus 3.2. Cool, thank you.
Okay, Tanya's got a question. She says, water harvesting, is this an option in the build?
It is. It doesn't come within our bill of quantities. You are welcome to do it, because the French drains that run around outside the house run into an attenuation tank. So you could put a pump back in and retrofit that yourself afterwards.
Okay. And another question. So I like the sound of underfloor infrared heating. Does it work through carpets and rugs?
Infrared does, yeah. You can get infrared heating from lots of different things. There are a couple of guys that I know that supply it in the UK. They put it in the ceiling, where there's kind of like a panel on your ceiling which does it. I've heard that you can get it behind walls, you can get it behind skirting. There's quite a few different options. It's quite a new tech that's really, really booming.
Definitely something to have a look at then. Well, thank you very much, Mike. That was really informative, really, really helpful. So yeah, thank you for taking the time this evening.
You're welcome. Anytime.
And if you've got any questions, then do contact Mike. You've got his email. If not, drop me a message and I'll send it over. Brilliant. Thank you very much, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye.